Are you going to be using a webcam to record your courses or your tutorials? Then stay tuned, because I'm going to share some tips that will make your visuals look so much better while using your webcam. Hi, Damaza Marie here with Creative Online Courses, and on this channel I guide you through tips and tutorials to crush it with visual media and produce your online courses like a boss. I also go behind the scenes with a vlog of what it's like to be a mum entrepreneur, so if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, I'm going to look at some tips that will just help make your visuals look so much better when you're using a webcam, so let's just jump right in. The first thing you want to do is to talk to the camera lens and not to the screen. So very often when we are on the computer, we will look at the screen. So we'll actually look more like this because we are focused on the screen itself and what's going on the screens. And we're not actually engaging with the person. Now, I'm sure if I look back up at you now, that it is a lot more engaging for me to be talking to you by talking directly into the camera lens, because that's where your eyes are, that's where you are seeing me and you can connect with me. So to apply this when you're doing tutorials and courses and things like that, obviously there are going to be times when you need to look at the screen because you're showing how to do something, and you can't do that while you're also looking at the lens. That's fine. But when you're not actually doing something on the screen itself, make sure that you do look back up at the lens to talk directly to your student, because that's going to increase that connection with them. The other thing you want to do is to make sure that you are looking at the camera at eye level. So you don't want to be looking down at the camera like this, because it's not a natural way we look at people. So I guess there are different heights and things like that we've got to take into account. But when we're thinking about being on camera, we're normally thinking about people looking at eye level. So if I were to look at eye level, it would be about this sort of position right here. So to be looking down like this and having my head drop down and all of this kind of thing, you're looking up at my chin a little bit. It's not as aesthetically pleasing as when you're looking at eye level. And also, looking up at the camera doesn't look good. So make sure that you are not looking down or looking up. Make sure that you are looking eye level. If necessary, raise the laptop so that the lens is more at eye level. If you are using your desktop, again, just adjust things, maybe adjust your seat or whatever is necessary in order to make sure that camera lens is as level with your eyes as possible, so that it looks natural, again, as you are talking to your student. The other thing you want to do is to think about your lighting. Now, often we think about lighting when it comes to video recording and things like that, but we don't necessarily think about it when it comes to webcam and using the computer, but it still applies. So get a ring light or a small light or something, some kind of light source. It can even be just a desk lamp or something that is going to direct light into your face so that your face is well lit, because this will make a huge difference to the quality of the image that you are sharing on your screen. You also want to think about your background. You don't want to have anything that's really distracting behind you, because obviously that's going to distract the attention away from you to whatever it is that's behind. So make sure you're not in a situation where people can be walking around behind you, because that's going to be distracting. Make sure that it's clean and tidy. You don't want a big mess behind you. That's just not attractive. So make sure that it's something that is either just plain, like a plain wall or something like that, or that whatever's in the background is aesthetically pleasing, because again, it's great if you're highlighted and looking nice, but if the background looks terrible, it's going to, again, lower the quality of the image aesthetically. The other thing is the fact that your camera lens is almost certainly a wide-angle lens, and wide-angled lenses, when you get up really close, can distort your proportions of your face, which isn't what we're looking for. So sit a decent distance apart so that your facial features look like they are in proportion. Another thing that's really important to think about is your composition. So what you don't want to do is put yourself right bang in the center with your eyes in the middle of the image, because then you'll end up having a huge amount of headroom up the top and it just doesn't look right. So make sure that your eyes are on the upper third. When you're looking at the rule of thirds, make sure the eyes are on the upper third. That will give you the right amount of headroom above your image, or at the top of your image. And then if it's appropriate, try different positions. So you could try central, it might work well, but also try just being off to the left a bit or just off to the right a bit, and see if that works any better. You might actually find that it looks nicer when you're on one of the thirds rather than being right bang in the center. The other thing is to make sure that you're getting good audio, because as I mentioned in other videos, video is made up of the visuals and the audio. And so far we've been thinking about the visuals with getting set up on a webcam, but that doesn't mean we want to neglect the audio, because especially if we're teaching tutorials or courses or things like that, then we want the other person to be able to hear us very clearly so that they can get the content that they need to hear. So I recommend something like the Blue Yeti, which is a USB microphone, just plugs directly into your computer. There are other USB mics that do the same, so it doesn't have to be the Blue Yeti. But use something that will capture really good audio for you if you're going to be doing tutorials where you're sharing your screen and things like that, and using your webcam. Also, if you're doing live streams or any kind of tutorials on Facebook Live or YouTube Live or webinars, you know, all these kind of things, these settings will, you'll be doing so much better if you have a good camera, good webcam, as we've talked about in other videos on this series, and also getting good audio. Okay, so I hope those tips were helpful for you as you think about how to make the most of the visuals using your webcam, and let me know in the comments section below which tip you found most helpful. Thanks for watching this video, and if you are interested in more tips and tutorials on visual media, building online courses, or what it's like behind the scenes of a mum building a business, then please hit that subscribe button, and you can watch a couple more videos right here as well. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, and we will talk soon.